Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review of the very first episode of Youjo Senki, or I believe the subtitle was The Saga of Tanya the Evil, I think. But either way, this will be my first review of the series, and we will continue to review it week to week if you guys want to, or if you don't really care about the series or don't like it, I can always just take some more time to work on other videos, and we won't cover this week to week. Because, I feel really bad. I haven't given anything a bad review really in a while, so going in on this is going to be pretty rough because I went into it like I went into any single show, any single movie, wanting to like it. I went into it wanting to be really positive and really like it, and well, let's just say when the fans that actually read the source material, whether it's manga, light novel, whatever, the fans that read the source material, when they're commenting on the episode, saying things like, okay, this is a terrible adaptation, or where's the introduction, or they skipped the whole first 3 chapters, and things like that, it doesn't actually bode well for the show. But pretty much we start off with some trench warfare, and with that, I thought the animation was alright, and that carried on throughout the episode where I'm like, okay, there are some things that do look pretty good, some things look pretty bad. It was a very, I don't want to say bipolar animation, because what was good wasn't like super amazing good, but like, I feel like most parts were above average in animation, and then some parts were like really bad. Just a couple here and there that I will bring up. But then with the Mage Warfare, with the Trench Warfare, mages come in, and the whole concept of the mages flying around and stuff, I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. I feel like I would really like it and be okay with it, because it would feel like this really cool World War I-ish kind of era warfare, but with just this fantasy twist. I think that'd be good if it was developed or introduced or explained, but we got none of that. It was just thrown at us out of nowhere with no explanation or context, and because of that, it's just kind of like, I don't know, does it feel shoehorned in? I don't know, it feels pretty silly almost, I think. Yeah, I think that's the best way to describe the magic and mages in this. It feels kind of silly. Now with this, the big climax of their first attack on these guys at the trench warfare scene is when Tanya blows them all up and stuff, and that's supposed to be their big climax. That's the one part I keep thinking back to when I said some of the parts are like way low points and really not good. That scene, it looked like she shot at them, then it cut to just the still frame of soldiers in a random, it was like an explosion effect that you could probably add in Windows Movie Maker or something. Just boom, random explosion effect, and then we cut back away. It's like if it was an action movie and we saw this really cool high definition scene of this guy shoot a rocket launcher, then we cut to just some pavement with some action figures sitting on it, and like they blow up or something with this little teeny explosive, and then we cut back to the action hero with the launcher like he was the one that shot at them or whatever, and they just play it off like that was their special effects. That's kind of what this felt like. It was just a still frame random explosion effect, and it didn't look very good. Now for Tanya Degerschaft, we get to see her, or Degerchaff, I believe is the main character's name. Her introduction and design I actually think was pretty good. It's definitely the best design in this series. Now I like, after the badly animated explosion scene when we're first getting introduced to her, the OST I really liked, and I also liked her voice actor. I feel like it was, I don't know, a bit memorable and distinct. We find out that the year is 1924, and when we see the capital city place, I thought the art for that looked beautiful. We only saw it for just a quick brief moment, but what we saw looked pretty nice. Now, we see a lot of military brass, and they're just throwing a bunch of names around everywhere, and really a whole say, not do kind of storytelling, which of course is typically not good, and they just throw a bunch of names around. We don't really know any of them, any of their motivations, whether they're good or bad. We don't know a single damn thing about them. We don't know anything about this war, but they have a really stupid strategy. Like a really dumb strategy. We'll fight a bunch of different enemies on a bunch of different sides and have a strong mobile unit move around between the battlefields. Yeah, that works well, like, for a story, but when you think about if it actually makes sense, it kind of hurts the story because it doesn't make any sense. And they're talking about, oh my god, this isn't working. No shit, it's not working. That's a really stupid strategy. Then characters, when we get introduced to them a bit more. Victoria I thought was cute. Tanya's eyes were drawn very oddly. I still think the design was good, but the eyes were drawn oddly. The characters' designs from this, again, I feel so bad when I have to give a negative review, but when something's not good, I gotta point it out. The character designs were all over the fucking place. They were random as hell. And variety's good. You have your art style, and you have a variety of different characters, but they match your art style. This, nope, not at all. This had Tanya and Victoria, their art style sort of matched. I thought they both had good character designs. I liked the art style with them. Then we had a bunch of random other people who were all drawn to just look like random background people. Like, none of them looked special or important. It looked like a totally different art style. And then we have, like, the one guy in the military top brass where they're all, like, grizzled, like, when an anime goes for a more realistic art style with character design, they looked more like that. Then you have the one dude with the glasses who looks like your stereotypical space pirate. I don't want to say space pirate, but your typical, like, mech space government sort of anime kind of design. And it felt very out of place. It's like the characters were just so jumbled up, and so much of it had so many different art styles with design that a lot of it looked out of place. And so yeah, character design, another big thing that looking at it, I was like, I don't like how out of place it all feels. And also, yeah, the big thing that I said people were complaining about in the comments, there was no development. There was no introduction. We just got thrown straight into internal conflict between some of our characters that we didn't even know. We don't know any of these characters, but there's conflict among them. And the biggest problem with that, the reason you need the introduction and development is, why should we care? That's what I found myself saying a lot watching this. I'm like, okay, so this is what they're doing. Why should I care? I don't know them as a character. I don't know anything about them. What are their motivations, really? Why should I give a damn what happens to them or anything about them? And that was a huge problem with this entire episode, is not giving a shit about anyone. Also, the whole concept of the flying mages and stuff, I got to the point where I was like I said earlier, I don't really like it, because it would be good if there was an explanation or a reason, or they had some sort of broad, different science for this world, but they just sort of threw it at us. Now again, this episode, if this was like episode 4 or 5 of a show, I'd be like, wow, this was a good episode 4 or 5. But no, it was the first episode. There was no development, no introduction, no reason to care about anything that happened this entire episode. Then we have the soldiers on the flying horse things, and they looked really goofy and silly. It just, I'm gonna say it, the designs for the soldiers on the horse things, they looked not like a threat at all. They looked just really stupid. And I wish I had a better word than that. I don't want to just call something stupid, but it's just like these goofy little guys trying to act like tough hardcore soldiers while riding on these things that look like little toy horses. It was just really makes you think, okay, this isn't very cool. And the battle did look pretty cool, animation wise and everything, when Tanya goes in on them and everything. But the concept itself, them flying around the horses, her having this gun magic that we again have not been introduced to whatsoever, made it distractingly lame. Because every time you're like, oh, this looks pretty cool, you're like, but we don't know what any of this is. We haven't been told or shown what any of this is. So yeah, they didn't even go through the problem of telling us, not showing us. They just didn't give us anything at all. It felt like they released the episodes out of order. And then we have the wrap up at the end, and it's still contextless. It's out of nowhere. These guys are talking about how big, bad, and evil Tanya is, and why do we care? Well, we don't know anything about her. We don't know anything about them. Why do we care? So I've gone pretty rough on this, but I do want to say that it's not the worst thing ever. Like I said, I really wanted to go into it positively and look at it positively. It just didn't really work out that way because it was pretty bad. It's just like this was it wasn't a show. It was a showcase of a bunch of random action scenes with no story to connect them at all. So yeah, it was like a series of events, a series of sort of random events with no introduction, no context, no really no development, no serious development at least. Pretty much nothing happened. And it seemed like that's what they went for. It seemed like they just went for a place to show off action scenes and no actual story. Now, I think that later in the series, there could be some story. Like some people were saying, oh, maybe next episode they'll throw in the introduction as a scene or whatever. And I'm like, but shouldn't they have had that at the beginning to make us care about what happened at the beginning? Why just have a throwaway episode that means nothing at the beginning? So, yeah, it was kind of meaningless as well now that I think about it. This episode didn't do anything for us. They pretty much said, a problem with shows like Sword Art Online, one of the worst shows considered by most people, where the writer, the author is pretty much like, this guy is hero. They are bad guys. Hero kills bad guys. But we don't know anything deeper than that. That's not a story. That's what they gave us. They said, Tanya's a big, bad, evil main character, and these guys are the enemy. They are the bad guy. And she just killed them. And that's it. We didn't know anything about them, anything about her. We just knew she was good guy, they were bad guys, she killed them. And that's it. So, yep, nothing. No development, nothing happened. So, for the end, for designs, I'd give the designs like 2 out of 10 because there were a couple good ones. If everything was designed in the more serious style, it'd be fine. If everything was designed in the style of the one guy with glasses, I don't particularly like that style, but I mean, it at least would have been uniform and cohesive. If I would have really liked it if all the characters had designs, even like, I don't mean like designs like little girls or whatever, I mean like if they all looked like the same art style as Tanya and Victoria, I think that would have been the best case scenario, because I think that art style looked the nicest. But yeah, they just were a mess of random character designs. The animation actually wasn't too bad, but there were some really bad parts. The worst part of the thing is there was really no actual story or characters. There were just a bunch of events. Because I would say for it to really have actual characters, we would have to know anything about them or care anything about them, and we have no reason to. So legitimately no story happened, and I can't even really give this a score out of 10. Like normally I don't think I've ever been unable to give something a score out of 10, but there wasn't any story for me to really judge. If anything, I'd give maybe a 3 out of 10, which isn't even the worst review I've given something. But, because it wasn't the worst thing I saw. It was cool as just a random showcase of events. And if there were things leading up to that random showcase of events that made them make sense, and this was like episode 5 to 7 of a series, this would have been a good and acceptable episode. But as the first episode of something, no, it just kind of sucks. There's nothing there. So yeah, that's my thoughts. I guess 3 out of 10-ish. It just was not very good. And I know I'm going to get a lot of people hating that really love the manga or light novel or whatever it's based on. But even if that's good, I'm just saying the show for the first episode was objectively pretty bad. So I will stick through it because maybe it will get better if you want me to. If you guys want me to keep reviewing this week to week, I'll keep doing it week to week and hope it gets better. But if you don't want me to, if you want me to take this time and not do that, not do this show, and just take that time and put into other videos, I would be more than happy to do that as well. So it's all up to whether you guys want to see more of this on the channel or not. But either way, I'm just gonna say that I didn't really like it. I tried to like it, and I think I could like it in the future if it got better for sure. Because I mean, there were definitely things that I was like, pretty much, I would have liked this whole story. I would have liked the action. I would have liked the character designs for Victoria and Tanya, I believe was her name. I would have liked all of that if there was introduction to it, if there was story behind it. So that's just, they were missing the one most important thing. So yeah, and then I guess that's all I have to say. So either way, like if you did like the video, and comment down there to tell me what you thought of this show's first episode and what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe for more. More of this, maybe, if you guys want to see more of it, and a ton of other anime, manga, and other things on the channel. Follow on Twitter as well if you want, and I'll try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. Well, that is it, so thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.